Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders saying, What's Current? Today's show is brought to you by my main man Pang. His site is lifestrongapparel.com, lifestrongapparel.com. There you'll find all your goodies for your dog and for yourself as well. There's a dog sitting service he has, and raw sea moss, purple sea moss, and sea moss gel. When you make your purchases, be sure to put in the code SKYLER20 Scholar20 to receive a 20% discount on your purchases. So go to lifestrongapparel.com and tell them that the silly guy Sky Saunders sent you. Also, Beha Jackson, he has a YouTube page that you should check out. Make sure you subscribe. The view his content. He's got sardines on the grill. He's talking about fried chicken. He's talking about he's talking about sardines on the grill, fried chicken, and something else, and female strippers. So that's a plus. I'm trying to think of the third thing. My mind's slipping. I can't recall it right now, but he's talking about a lot of things. He has a very quick wit, and he's very humorous. So go to Beha Jackson on YouTube.com. BAJA space JACKSON on YouTube. Also on YouTube is Dot Focus, DOTFOCUS underscore, just one underscore, not a whole bar. He's got first-person shooter footage from his gaming of Call of Duty and different things. So check him out. Make sure you subscribe to his channel and tell him that the silly guy Sky Saunders sent you. All right. Okay, so got my sponsors in. Diddler, he's breathing a little bit easier. Some of the charges were in fact dropped. The arson, the sexual aiding and abetting, I think is one of them that's dropped. I can't remember exactly, but yeah. So the prosecution has been sloppy. They got sloppy. They got they didn't have all the right evidence for these different sexual cases. Some of the sexual cases still are in place. Some of them, the charges are still in place, but for the most part, they're not doing well. So the defense, I think, begins tomorrow or Friday, and they will be on the home court really. Beha Jackson and the fix is in. Salute to you, sir. Thank you very much for your support over the months, almost I think years now. You've been supporting this particular project. I appreciate you. Thank you. Now, and make sure I made sure. What else? You got sardines on the grill, fried chicken. I mentioned female strippers, and what else? You got something else that you do. I can't remember it right now, though. Tell me what it is, Beha Jackson. You do something else. I can't. Just everything. I always get like the last one. I get up to like if I say there's 5, I get to 4. You have to explain that, my brain. Thank you. Near beer. That's what it was. I was like, what the hell is it? He's talking about near beer, folks. He's talking about I have really good near beer. It's not like I don't think I've ever tried O'Doul's, but I've heard bad things about them. But oh my God. Is it I think it is Michelob. Is it Michelob? Michelob has a non-alcoholic beer, and it's excellent. It tastes just like beer, it just doesn't have the alcohol. That's exactly what it should be. That's what I would think it should be. It should just have the taste of beer, the feel of beer, the cold. When you have a cold brew, and you just don't get drunk off of it. It's cool. I like that. I'm a teetotaler. I don't drink alcohol. Not saying that you shouldn't drink alcohol. I mean, you shouldn't drink alcohol, but I'm not telling you shouldn't. You understand what I'm saying? Alcohol is literally a poison. They say pick your poison. I think they said that metaphorically, but really in real life, and it's not so good for your health. I mean, the occasional beer, the occasional wine, maybe some vodka, whiskey, gin, from time to time, every few weeks, every few days, that's okay, but you don't want to overdose on it. But anyway, back to the Diddler. The Diddler, oh my gosh, he was, the judge even spoke to him. The judge even came in and said, "How are you doing?" And Diddy said, I'm paraphrasing. He said, "I'm doing all right. You're doing a great job, Judge. Thank you very much." So the judge is being, very, not partial, because he has to be objective as a judge, but he's trying to, make sure that Diddy's getting a fair trial. I'll say that much. He's getting a fair trial. But yeah, so I think with these charges being dropped, I think that just gives a little bit of cushion for the defense to say, hey, if you're dropping those charges, why can't you drop these? Drop those charges too. I mean, where are we going here? What's happening? They should have some kind of understanding of whether they should proceed based on the various charges that are leveled against Diddy. They should really consider, the facts, and not somebody's opinions or hearsay, or all the people that are on the stand, Capricorn and Cuddy and Cassie. It's like it's like C's. It's the C's and K's. Kid Cudi. What are they going to do? I'm still mystified. I'm still mystified that they didn't. That they had Cassie on the stand. She had her child, and she's still holding it against Diddy. Tears and all. You see the courtroom sketch. She has a tissue up to her eye. Everything like that. And early in the trial, when she was first put on the stand, she had the really big belly and the brown dress. All that is calculated. All that's calculated. Kid Cudi's testimony, I wanted to fight him and stuff like that. All of that is calculated. It's all calculated. Like I said before, Diddy is not the greatest person in the world. He's a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad person. That's a fact. He's a gangster, and he's not a good guy. But that's not on trial. The fact that he's a terrible person is not one of the charges leveled against him. There's just a few charges that are now taken off the table, and he has to continue. He has to progress on with this case. He has to continue. So I mean, for him to be able to understand what's going on, he has to really show and have an effect on his ability to know what's his in. And he opted. He said, "Look, I'm not going on the stand. I'm not talking. I'm not saying a word." That was probably the smartest thing he probably did this whole time. He didn't say anything. He's not saying any words. He's not involved in any kind of taking a stand, taking testimony, anything. And why do I have one like? There's two people in here. It should be 2 likes. Let's get that up to 2 likes. I just got paid today. Social Security just dropped, almost a stack on me. And I get a dividend from the what do they call it? The U.S. Treasury. Just every so often, every few months, every few years, it's like they drop $8 for something, like $7 or $8. I have no idea, but I'm not complaining. It's money. Money is money. It's not much, but it's still a little bit of change, a little chunk of change, But speaking of chunk of change, like I said before, Diddy's lawyers are going to eat lovely off of his case. I mean, I think even if he loses, even if he doesn't win all of the charge, if he's found guilty of one charge, or all of them, they're still going to get money. They're still going to get millions. That's what I can foresee. I'm not, a legal scholar or anything like that, but that's what I can potentially see happening. I think with Diddy being his high profile self, he's obviously been subdued. He's been brought down. I don't want to say, oh, they're challenging his ego. His ego has been compromised. Whatever ego he had was already shattered from the beginning. He had a fragile ego when he was talking all that ish on different rap records and stuff like that. He has an air of narcissism. He's a narcissist. That's what Diddy is. He's not an egoist. He's a narcissist. And that's the difference between, he and other figures that are in positions like him. I mean, you can go to anyone and say, they have their ego intact because they didn't have to brag and boast. They just know that they're the best. They just know it. They don't have to say it. They just show it. So, Diddy with these charges dropped, it's just a breath of fresh air. It doesn't mean he has a lot of room. He just got a little bit of air in him. He's got a little bit of breathing room, just a little bit of breathing room, because the other charges are sticking. The sex trafficking charge sticks. Most of the RICO charges were thrown out. The arson, the sexual aiding and abetting, things of that nature were thrown out in the RICO case. But the sexual trafficking and the bringing prostitutes across state lines for sexual acts, those still are sticking. Those are still on the table. So we have to remember that. We have to continue on with that. We have to keep that within the sights. We have to keep that in the sights because, Diddy is a shapeshifter. I'm going to be the first one to call him a shapeshifter. He'll be brash and jiggy and fly one day, and then, I have to wear this dress shirt and the sweater like Mr. Rogers. Some of y'all don't know about Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers was a man on PBS stations. He had his neighborhood. He came in with a cardigan sweater. He was very subdued, low key. He didn't raise his voice. He was in Pittsburgh, I believe it was. He was just an all-around, just a great guy. Great, you can learn so much. Millions and millions of people, were raised off of him, being, in their adolescence, before adolescence, in their, toddler stages and stuff like that. So, just had to give that a little bit of information. I have 2 likes with one person now. Okay, Bayha Jackson, you riding with me? Yeah, so he has to do the Mr. Rogers dress. He's got to be more subdued. He's got to be cool. He can't be like, y'all want to hate me? Hate me now. He can't be that Diddy. That Diddy, he's not present at the trials. That Diddy's in the past. Way, 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 way in the past. It's me. I'm driving. Okay, King Hazy, salute to you, sir. Don't get into any crashes. Please don't get into any crashes. That'll be on my account. Well, he was watching Skylar Saunders sing. He told him to continue being on the show. I'm not trying to hear no news reports. Talking about I was the main one. Hey, yeah, I heard he was watching some YouTube show. I don't know what it was about, but yeah, he crashed. I don't know. It was wild. It's crazy. So don't be the one. Please don't be the one. Pull over, stop, then listen, or don't listen at all, and wait for the rebroadcast. Do what you got to do. I want you to be safe out there, King Hazy. Salute to you, sir. All right. So Diddy is on a respite right now. He's on just a brief relaxation mode. He's just briefly understanding that he's in, the water. He's not out of the water, but the temperature's gone down a little bit. It was hot water. It was hot water. Kind of warm now. Kind of warmish, hot hot, warm, kind of warm. I don't want to say lukewarm because it's not. He's not even lukewarm, but it's kind of hot, warmish, warm, hot, like somewhere around that level. He's definitely hanging on by a thread in certain circumstances. Other circumstances, if the defense knows how to do this, is Angafillo. I might have pronounced his name incorrect again, but Angafillo, if he does his thing and he gets this jury to understand, we have somebody that has made lives change. He's made hundreds, if not tens. I'll say tens, maybe not hundreds, but tens of lives changed. He's ruined some lives, obviously, but he's also helped raise up people from poverty, from out of situations and things like that. And the fact that he wants freak offs, and he's a businessman. He has to do with a lot of signatures and contracts and see properties and things like that. If he needed something to take his mind off of all that, and it was consensual, and they were all adults, why not? That's what I say. Why not? There's a Diddy right now out here somewhere in the world. Could be in Russia, could be in China, could be in Taiwan, could be in Nova Scotia, could be in Sweden, somewhere in America. Molly Cyrus is twerking. Turk, Molly, Turk. But anyway. But somebody's out there, multi-millionaire, billionaire, something like that. Got freak offs of his or her own. Could be a female. I don't know. I would venture to guess it could be a female. I don't know. But it's possible that there's a Diddy already out there right now doing something freak nasty that's consensual and has all adults and has permits. That's another thing he was talking about. He was talking about in the video when he was saying, man, I'm one day, they don't want us to have the parties. They don't want us to have anything like that. They don't want us to have fun. They don't want to give us permits. They don't want to do this. I'm probably going to be locked up. He said these words verbatim. Look for the video. YouTube. I'm going to be locked up. Diddy. Watch that. Watch it. He said it verbatim. I don't know what year it was, but he said it verbatim. I'm probably going to get locked up. I don't know about the verbatim. I'll paraphrase. I'm probably going to get locked up. I'll paraphrase it. But yeah, so it's real funny. It's real funny style. Real funny style. It takes a while for anyone to understand this particular case. This case is so deep and so big and so wide ranging, but it's simple at the same time. It's like a man on trial for these specific charges. Some of them have been dropped. Others still remain. And he continues on like a G. I have 0 viewers right now. 0. I have 0 viewers right now. I have to point that out. This is for the rebroadcast. So it's really goofy to me for people to start saying, oh, Diddy's done. Oh, Diddy's done. Yeah, maybe he could be done. I don't care. I don't care one way about him. I'm just reporting what could be. I say he's innocent. He's innocent until proven guilty. He is innocent. Right now, he's an innocent man. He's in the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York, United States of America. But that could change. That could all change. He's eating maggot-infested food. The peas are, moldy, and allegedly, the mashed potatoes, they make with mix, and they're infested allegedly. He's not accustomed to this lifestyle. He's accustomed to stuffed pheasant and and quail. That's what he's accustomed to. So what Diddy is trying to do, I think, is just he looks like he's like waiting for the time for them to say not guilty. That's what he's trying to not guilty on all the charges. All charges not guilty. Because the prosecution fumbled. They said fumbled the ball in the end zone. The game ain't over yet. The prosecution maybe have the lead, but they have a fumble in the inner end zone. They fumbled the ball. They had to drop the charges. Diddy's laughing at it right now in his cell, I would imagine. He still has to show up for court. He still has to say anything. And he said, Mom, I'm not saying a word. I'm put everything being quiet. Here we go. YouTube subscriber. Always got to count on the YouTube subscriber. Thank you for the like. I think that was you for the like. Diddy is going to be out soon with all the bussy available to him. Yeah. I mean, if that's his thing. I mean, that's not my thing, but hey, as long as it's an adult and they're consenting to it, I don't have a problem. Do what you got to do. That's not my business. That's not my business, Diddy. Diddy, you want a boy toy? That's a man, 18 years or older. You're 50, 55, 56? I don't have a problem. So I think Diddy has to just take account of everything that's happened so far, all the testimonies, all the people on the stand, everybody saying everything against him. You just gotta take all that into account and be thankful that he has a legal team that's money hungry. This Engafillo guy, he's gonna get at least 10 million, 20 million, something like that out of this case. At least. I mean, I'm not good at math figures, but I would imagine he's getting at least double, not double digits, what's it called? At least 8 figures. I don't think 9 figures, but at least 8 figures. I would imagine he's getting. I'm just saying allegedly. I'm not sure exactly how much he's going to get paid. But Diddy, he had money enough for Cochran back in 2000. Back in 99, 2000. And Cochran went to business with him. He got those charges dropped. He beat the charges like Rocky. Now that statement has a double meaning now. That's funny. Something that was said in 2001 by Hove, Jay-Z. He said, I beat the charges like Rocky. Rocky Balboa, the boxer, the actual boxer, Rocky Balboa. Or not Rocky Marciano, excuse me. Rocky Marciano is the actual boxer, and Rocky Balboa is the fictional boxer for the movie Rocky. Now, ASAP Rocky, Rakim Mayers, he beat all his charges. He would have spent 24 years in prison if he had been found guilty of all of his charges. So, just to give you some highlights, some context. But yeah, so Diddy's, he just has to, dig deep within his crotch. Pause. He's got to dig deep. Keep his wallet open, because they're gonna be taking that cash pretty soon. They're gonna be taking that money soon. Don't worry about it. I don't think they're like the injury lawyers that say, if you don't win, we don't get paid. No. This is different. This is a criminal, case. They're fighting. They're gonna get some kind of coinage, no matter what. Win, lose, or draw. They're gonna get some money out of Diddy. And Diddy knows it. The Diddler knows it. He knows it. He knows it. So I think, like I said, the Cassie tape, I'm so confused. I thought she couldn't even appear in court. I thought the video wouldn't be able to be played. I didn't know if the freak offs would be able to be played. They were. All of that happened. And if I thought it was gonna be the first or the last or in the middle. I thought it was gonna be in the middle. Because if you have the first, it's the first thing they think. Oh my God, he's a horrible person. He's a terrible human being. Look what he did to Cassie. Look what he manhandled her, and this is terrible with a bathroom towel on. You know, it's like this is horrible. That's the first thing, not the last thing they'll remember. They're gonna remember the last thing from the defense. The defense is gonna be the last thing on their mind, whatever their arguments are gonna be. It's going to be the last thing sticking to their mind. That's what's going to make it, possible. So I just, like I said this before. The charges are goofy, the weird, and I knew, like, the RICO ones especially. The RICO ones were really weird. The sex trafficking is like, okay, it's on the books. It shouldn't be a problem. It should be complete. That's the thing. It's just like drugs and sex. It's like, I mean, I'm thinking about the late great George Carlin. He said, what he said? He said, selling's legal, effing's legal. Why can't selling effing be legal? Exactly. Like, why not? Why is it not legal? Nobody has given me an earthly reason. It's usually wrapped around, some kind of mysticism or something like that. Something according to faith. It's not in the eyes of God that you should be, a prostitute. But didn't Jesus hang out with prostitutes? Am I wrong about that? Somebody correct my dumb ass. But I could have sworn that Jesus hung out with prostitutes. Mary Magdalene, something like that. Am I wrong? Please correct my dumb ass. I still have 0 viewers right now. 3 likes. So I think with the amount of people that are against prostitution being legalized, I would love to hear the reasons. I would love to hear the reason. Are the questions of safety? Are the questions of exact receipts and and commerce, and how's it transacted, and is that the question? Is that the case? And like I said, with scheduled narcotics, tens of thousands of people are in prison right now because of drug offenses for decades, for football numbers, for 20 to 50, 60 years, maybe even prison time for the rest of their life. For drug charges, exchanging narcotics for profit, and the other person for a high. I don't get it. And that's a part of this scene as well. This Diddy case, the ketamine, the pink cocaine, the actual cocaine, things of that nature. Bumba says Viper is the Diddy of the underground. You explain more, Bumba. I have no idea who Viper is. Who is Viper? Viper is the Diddy of the underground. Who is Viper? Please explain yourself, sir. People just say blanket statements on here, and I have no idea what they're talking about. Viper is the Diddy of the underground. Okay, who the hell is Viper? I don't know who Viper is. Please explain, sir. Anyway, Diddy is, he's up against the law. I mean, it's sad. We're talking about, how many people, went to prison for prohibition. Like, Al Capone didn't go to jail for murder or racketeering or anything like that. He went to jail for tax evasion. and he died of syphilis in jail, as far as I understand. I think that was the case. He's a rapper who got arrested for keeping a woman locked up in his garage. Wow, okay. Wow. Thank you for telling me that. Keeping a woman locked up in his garage. Wow. I don't know if the freak offs were that vicious. Freak offs were just, sex parties. And, he was, Diddy was the ringleader, basically. And like I said, he's a businessman. If you want to freak off with some adults that were consenting to it, how can you stop him? Why would you stop him? He's worse than it. That's what I was saying. That's what I was thinking. I just said that sounds terrible. That sounds even worse than Diddy. Keeping a woman locked up. That's false imprisonment. That's definitely false imprisonment. So you can't do that. Kind of like Mystical. Mystical's charges I don't know of, but I know they're extensive. I know they comprise an assortment of different charges against him, but I'm not sure what they are. And Mystical got caught up in some mess. His life went from sugar to ish real quick. He's getting millions of dollars, flying, going all over the country, all over the world, I would suspect. And what is Master P like? Master P, man, he's my number one rapper. He's my favorite rapper of all time. But his brother, C Murder, is in prison for, guess what? Murder. Mystical, I don't know his charges. I don't know how much he's spending time. I don't know if is he behind bars right now, Mystical? And did Viper get tried and sentenced? Tried and found guilty and sentenced? You got to tell me, Bubba. Keep me in the loop. I got to look at Tom McDonald still. I still haven't gotten around to that. I'll get to that one day. But it is a crazy scene. I think they're both locked up. C Murder, yeah, I know C Murder's locked up. But Master P's living a good life. He's got $200 million net worth, apparently. I think he owns his masters. He's a smart businessman. I mean, you can argue about his rapping skills, whatever, but he was the first rap artist besides Diddy that I, clung to because of make him say, na 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 na. Like that was when I was in formative years. That was like when I was younger. I was like, wow, what's this rap stuff? What is this about? I just come on watching MTV and BET. Oh man. Yeah, I gotta look up Mystical. The Diddler is, he's gonna be. He's a mystified man, so I'm sure he's praying every night to the unknown and the unknowable. I'm sure he has, and in his mind, his mind's eye, to continue to be a force for understanding, belief systems. He might, think about Judaism, Islam. He's been locked up, so Islam is maybe on his platter. I don't know. But yeah, so I think with Diddy though, I just he just was so full of hubris. So full of hubris. Not ego. Everything. Oh, he had his ego. He's egotistical. Narcissism, hubris. Those are the components that build Diddy. Those are what make him detestable. The narcissism and the egotism with a T in the middle. Egotism. Egotism, not egoism. This is a very fine line, very close. There's one letter, the T in there. But that's the truth behind that. That's like, how do you go from that perch? How do you go from being, I mean, the way people have died in his wake, not because of, he murdered them or anything like that, but just weird circumstances, weird issues. That's conspiracisms. I'm not going to get into conspiracisms. I'm just saying it's just a very strange situation, and I'm glad that he's not on trial for any of their deaths, because that would be too messy. That will probably bring down the judicial system in New York. They just made a primary win for a socialist. He didn't win the mayoral election, but thinking about the way that Eric Adams gave the key to the city to Diddy, and then Eric Adams got corruption charges against him. You can't. I mean, I would love to see somebody write this. A novelist. What novelist? What screenwriter could come up with this situation? Diddy got Biggie killed or just didn't care about him? I think that's true. I mean, to an extent, he cared about him. I think he did care about him a little bit, but he's not really. He wasn't very. He wasn't very concerned, I think, to an extent. To an extent. Thank you, Beha. I just saw the Cash App. Thank you for that. Appreciate it, sir. Charles, salute. Salute, Charles. 4 likes, 4 people in here. I am not mad. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate it. The water's warm. Come on in. Diddy's not out of the water yet. He still has some time. He has to see what his defense is going to say. Angafillo is on the case. Please correct me if I pronounce his name wrong. No way did he have Biggie murdered. Diddy is just arrogant and thought he was untouchable. He didn't understand gang politics in LA. Yeah, I like to use the term narcissistic rather than arrogant. Arrogant can kind of be a positive in some circumstances. He didn't understand gang politics in LA. Oh, well, there was, speaking of gang politics in LA, Suge Knight, I don't know why they asked him, but they asked him what he thought about the trial, and he was like saying, they're not friends, but he thinks that Diddy should still walk free. That's what Suge Knight said. That's verbatim. I read that, and he said that exactly. He said that Diddy should walk free. He said that. So that's what Suge Knight's opinion was. The same guy says, all in the videos, all on the records. Come on down to the death row. Diddy about to get a slap on the wrist and let go. The goal of humiliating him and ruining his brand was achieved. Was it though? I mean, at the same time, there's a lot of freaks out there, and they're gonna understand like he could still do consensual, like serious, like programmed, monitored freak offs still. If whatever happens, I mean, he's not going to get life in prison. That's for sure. He's not going to get. He probably won't even get the most serious charges. He may do 5 to 10, maybe 20. I'm thinking maybe do 20, and it's going to get knocked out. It's going to be an appeal. There's going to be, he's going to be in the code. He's going to be in the prison system for a few years, and that's going to let go off of good behavior or something like that. It says Diddy this and that. Free Suge should have gave Diddy the vanilla ice treatment. Well, allegedly Diddy gave a young female the vanilla ice treatment. If you don't know what the vanilla ice treatment is, it's hanging somebody over a balcony. Not funny, but I'm just saying it's kind of weird. It's just like so goofy, so strange. But that's just part of the lunacy of all this. This is and once again, remember, this is all under, this is a lot of people are saying like, oh, we're in the new Rome, we're in the new Sodom and Gomorrah, and God's going to punish us, and that's the reason why we have all these heat waves, and why there's going to be tornadoes and earthquakes and hurricanes and stuff, because God is telling us that we should not be in freak offs and stuff like that. It's like, if you believe that, I'm an atheist, but if you hear Texas on perfect timing, perfect. He says, go back to Jesus. After I do my little spiel about God, punishing the human race with natural disaster, that's the irony too. God is supernatural, but he can use natural abilities to go after humans, or I guess because nature is perfect. Nature is wonderful. It's beyond. It's precious. Shouldn't be touched. But we've touched it. We've made skyscrapers and mansions and buildings and schools and roads and things like that. We've completely mastered nature, and now we get this. Too much debauchery anyway. God created natural. So God created natural. What was he wearing at the time? Was he wearing something that the angels made for him, or what happened with that? He created when did he create that? Was he wearing blue jeans and a flannel shirt when he created natural Texas? He was wearing a MAGA hat. That's even better. He was wearing a MAGA hat with a red and black lumberjack. He was wearing a red and black lumberjack with a MAGA hat to match. See, that's the thing. Texas, I always say this. People who believe in, God, faith, whatever the case may be, they're sincere, but they're not serious. They can, take their, they can take their pieces and be non-serious and kind of funny about it. They can say, about the dome and at the Dallas Cowboys stadium. Oh, it retracts so God can see, and his favorite football team play football. Well, if God, I thought he was omnipotent, I thought he was omniscient, and I thought he was all seeing, all knowing, all powerful, and all seeing. From a corporate brand perspective, Diddy no longer marketable. But people like Michael Milken, Martha Stewart, and Jordan Belfort were able to make a comeback and are filthy rich after prison. I mean, I hear you, Charles, and those are good points. Those are actually really great points. And don't forget about Frank Abagnale. Frank Abagnale and fraud. See, I think the sex, it's sexy, the sex makes it a lot, and the freak offs, it's like, ooh, oh my God, but theirs were like non-sexual, so it doesn't make it like literally sexy. Yeah, Frank Abagnale. Yeah, he got out of prison, started his own cybersecurity firm, and is making millions of dollars after the fact. Like, could you imagine if Catch Me If You Can was with black people? That movie would have been 2.5 minutes long. They would have shot that nigga, or they would have thrown him in jail for the rest of his life. There would be no Catch Me If You Can. John McAfee, is he still alive? John McAfee, he had the McAfee software where you can block different malware and intrusions in your computer system. I don't remember if he died or not. Somebody look that up. He was not likely killed in prison. He was most likely killed in prison. Well, make sure of it. Make sure. He committed suicide? Are you sure of that? Can you give me a link? Give me a link. I need to see a link. Bumba, thank you. His wife said he was fine one day, then dead the next. Okay. I still need a link. Let me get a link. He was murdered. I think he got killed. They're saying it was innocent. I mean, they're saying it was suicide. Some are saying it was murder. Didn't Trump pardon Larry Hoover? Yes, he did. I had a story about Larry Hoover. I just did a show about him. I think about a week ago or a few weeks ago. But yeah, Trump pardoned Larry Hoover. But Larry Hoover still's got 200 years worth of state time in Illinois. So Trump pardoned his government, his federal charges. Yep. Those are facts. Bumba's got he pardoned young boy, what is it? NBA young boy, never broke again, young boy, and Kodak Black too. Yes, that is true. That is very true. And Kodak Black's a genius. He's gonna get found on he got found on some kind of charges after he got released. Like, come on, use your brain. Have some sense of common sense. Use your brain. Kodak doesn't have a brain. No, Kodak does have a brain. He's actually one of the best rappers to come out of Florida, in that area. He got lean brain. Well, maybe he got, what do y'all call it? Rot brain. McAfee himself had warned in 2019, if I suicide myself, I was whacked. Check my right arm, according to Wikipedia. Are there any news reports? I respect Wikipedia if they have links. If they have links, then I use Wikipedia. But if there's no links, then I can't really use them. So I think those are good examples. Malcolm Milken is actually a hero. Martha Stewart's a hero. Jordan Belfort, somewhat of a hero, not too much. He's kind of a jerk. He's kind of a horrible person. But Michael Milken definitely was a hero, of course. Texas says, Sky, what you consider to be good rappers is surprising to me. Hey, I'm just telling the truth. His dogs got whacked too. Everyone you think is a good rapper is Ishi. Okay, here we go. The last days of John McAfee investigates tech pioneer's mysterious death. Okay, so he is dead. He has a mysterious death. And there's a 404-page error when I go to the link. But thank you for trying to give me the link. I appreciate that. But my top 5 are crazy. My top 5 are the best. Top 5. 5 is Big Boy from Outkast. 4 is Malice from the Clips. 3 is Jadakiss. 2 is Twista. Number 1 is Master P. That's a strong list. I don't care what nobody says. That's a strong list. You're not gonna mess with that list. They got bars. They have swag. They have drip, or if you want to call it that, instead of swag, call it drip. They're dripping swagoo. Anybody remember that? Master P, make crack like this. No, Scarface. Scarface is in my top 20. I think Scarface is in my top 20. But it's different than the greatest. The greatest is different. I have a greatest list that's different. But anyway, yeah, Diddy could, he could skate. He could skate. We shall see. He's not worried about it. The judge is not on his side, obviously. Jada's a fraud. Okay. How is Jadakiss a fraud? Please tell me. I like the good songs, not lyrical miracle stuff. No, I don't have to explain myself. Of course, Texas, you don't have to explain yourself, but you sound chicken-ish when you just say blatant stuff like Jada is a fraud. Like, if you can't explain yourself on that, then that's your business. But come on, step it up. Step it up. Be a man. And I don't have to explain myself, he says. Okay. Let me see. Unique Mecca Audio has a good breakdown of why they failed to prove Rico. He would know he was in jail for 30 years fighting a Rico. Who are you talking? Unique Mecca Audio? Who was in jail for 30 years for Rico? But since you asked, you're Bumba says you're that's the New York stuff. Jada is the real life Clarence from 8 Mile. Okay. I don't see that. I don't see what you're talking about. I don't agree with that. But that's all right. Texas, you're cool with me. I don't have no problems with you, but we just disagree a lot. We just disagree. Cameron used to be my third until what was it? Versus when the locks cleaned Diplomat's clock. When they went in, Cameron was number 3. He's still like up there. He's still my top 10, but he's not number 3. Jada is number 3 now. I think that's Star favorite rapper. He says, "Your gun's a hand-me-down. I put you where you can't be found." He says that whenever he talks about Cameron. Unique Mecca Audio Podcast is a podcast where former Kingpin Unique shares stories of his experiences while incarcerated for 26 years. God damn. Jesus. That's different. That's next level. 26 years from Harlem. See, it's funny too because that takes away from their status, and that's what's weird. I don't understand jail. I don't understand prison, and I never want to go to jail, and I never want to go to prison. Not scared to. I went into the Marines. I know how to fight, so I'll fight to. They may win, but I'm gonna fight to my death. But anyway, Crunchy Black the GOAT. Okay, now you're being very. Very trollish. You're trolling right now. He said the Rico was weak in the Diddy case. Oh, really? That's the reason why I think those charges were dropped. There's like 2 or 3 more charges that still remain, but not all of them. Will Smith is underrated. Yes, Will Smith was in my top 10 until he slapped Chris Brown. They do something wrong or they're not on the right page, then they get bumped down. He's like in my top 70 now. Will Smith. He's a loose cannon. He's crazy. He's not even. I don't even think he's completely sane. I'm not a psychiatrist, but I have bipolar disorder, and I can understand. Did I say Chris Brown? Oh, Chris Rock. Excuse me, Chris Rock. Excuse me. Jada Pinkett is a fraud. Excuse me, I didn't mean to say Chris Brown, Chris Rock, but Chris Brown, another one. He had to get knocked down because of what he did to Rihanna, Robin. Chris Brown wouldn't have took that. Yeah, he If it was Chris Brown that Will Smith slapped, he would have got some jaws. He would have got some jaw action. He would have got Chris Brown would have knuckled up and socked him right in the jaw. But Chris Rock was smart. He knew he was in front of white people and millions of people all over the globe. He was like, I can't get in a fight. If I get in a fight with him, I'm going to lose my position. So he just took that slap. What did Chris Brown do to Rihanna? Oh, Texas, are you being cute? Please tell me you're just joking. You're like, nah, I'm just playing. I know what he did. And you spelled her name. Let me see. You did spell her name right. Okay. What did Chris Brown do to Rihanna? Oh boy, I'm not even gonna explain that one. You can look that up on your own, sir. But he says question mark. Oh my God. Do I have to break it down to him? Should I break it down to Texas, y'all? I think if Diddy gets off, they're going to try to hit him with the Tupac murder. Keefy D still locked up. I don't know. Pause. Bumba says. I just think that the law courts are just so out of whack. The legislative system is so out of whack. It is so weird. People go to prison innocent. People go for drug charges. People go for prostitution. All of that should be legal. All of that. Only things that should be illegal are like murder, robbery, rape, fraud, things of that nature. Actual crimes. Bummer said all the lights. Bam, 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 bam. Texas says, so Chris Brown beat the ish out of Rihanna. What did Rihanna do, though? I'm calling for the victim. What did she do? What did she do to provoke him? Nobody just wait. I mean, not a few people wake up and just say, "Hey, I'm just gonna be in this limousine and slap and punch and box the ish out of this woman." She had to. It was provoked. She was probably putting fingers in his head, saying all kinds of stuff. Prostitution should be legal. It's very Ayn Rand. It's absolutely Ayn Rand. Had to take her to that ghetto university. Yes. School of Hard Knocks. Rihanna threw his car keys into a busy highway and punching him while he was driving, supposedly. Wow. That's the language she knew at the time. But yeah, legalizing prostitution is definitely Ayn Rand. She was a very big proponent. She wasn't like an outspoken advocate just to say prostitution, but she agreed with the fact that it should be legalized because there's no victims. Who are the victims in prostitution? Whose rights are being violated in prostitution? Just sounds like a toxic relationship. He ain't as bad as people say. He wouldn't have been. He can't be as bad as people say. He'd be locked up right now. He's on tour right now, I think. He's still on tour. Chris Brown is getting paid. And people are like, you know what? He did that crazy stuff with Rihanna, but he's still one of my favorite singers. He's still a good guy. He's on the radio. He's got the dog song or something with the dog. You messing with a mutt or something. Correct me if I'm wrong. He's got a song out on the radio right now called Mutt, where he's in a. I don't want to call it a duet. I don't think it's called a duet when it's two guys, but it's a duo. Women shouldn't have rights. Oh God, Texas, you're not. Go to sleep. Go to bed, sir. It's getting late. He's saying women shouldn't have rights. Oh my God, he's stuck in the first century. Stunned his career though. Yeah, it did. It did stun his career, but same thing that happened with Mike Jack. Mike Jack. He thought he was Peter Pan. He wanted to hang with little boys. That messed up his whole world in America. And the rest of the world was like, we don't care. Mike, you're all right. He had to go to London. He had to go to England to promote his This Is It tour. America was like, whatever, nigga. Didn't start blackpiling or don't start blackpilling. I don't even know what that means. There's so many pills: red pill, green pill, blue pill, black pill. What is black pill? I don't know what black pill is. Keeping things illegal make the crime worse sometimes because it forces people to operate underground, like robbing drug dealers. They have to eat the loss, no insurance. That's true. That's one of the reasons why there should be legalized prostitution, because if somebody is attacked, if a female or a male, male prostitute is attacked, I guess there are male prostitutes or trans, whatever they are. If they're attacked or they're killed or something like that, there should be specific damages brought against that person who perpetrated the crime. That should be very severe, more severe than they are today. And same thing goes with the trans. They violate the John or the person that and wants to initiate with the prostitute. It should be the same way. Bowman says, don't want Rex Howerman as a trick. I don't even know who Rex Howerman is. But hey, it's been over an hour. I appreciate everybody that came through. Thank you again, Beha Jackson. Check him out. He's talking about sardines, near beer, fried chicken, and female strippers of age, of course. Thank you very much. Again, make sure you check out lifestrongapparel.com, my main man Peng, and also .focus, DOTFOCUS _. I will see you sometime tomorrow. Thank you very much. Take care.